Alright, here's 7 easy progressions to help you do a dip. Once you can do 10 clean reps, move on to the next. First is the incline push-up, then the leg assisted dip, then the single leg assisted dip, then jumping dips, then dip negatives, and finally do banded dips with some assistance and slowly decrease the weight of the band until you can do your first official dip.
Okay, stop.
I am stopping, I'm almost dead.
I want to show you something. So it's chest day. We're trying to hit our chest on the dips. So I want to show you 2 little form tweaks. Number 1, if you're trying to hit chest while doing dips, lean forward, go down to 90 degrees, come back up. So lean forward, that's going to hit more chest. Now you try to hit more tricep, you're actually going to be more upright. Get a nice hard squeeze at the top. Simple tweak, get that chest pump. Lean forward,
Lean forward.
Go to 90 degrees, go down more, 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 come up. There you go. There's 1. 10 more. What?
Nobody knows.
A dumbbell bench press mistake is locking out your elbows, which decreases the tension on the chest when the dumbbells are at the top, and therefore can hinder chest gains. Instead, keep your arms slightly bent at the top of the lift to maximize chest gains. A bench press mistake is bending your wrist back and resting the bar too high on the palm of your hand, as it decreases your bench press strength. Instead, rest the bar on the base of the hand for a stronger bench press.
Let's learn how to set up your cable pressing for the front delts, lower, middle, and upper chest. Line the cable up with your forearms and where you're pressing to. For the front delts, you're driving your upper arm up towards your head. Pay attention to how the cable lines up with my forearm. For the upper chest, I'm driving my upper arm towards the middle of my clavicles. Just look at the difference between the arm path of the upper chest press and the front delt press. For the sternal or middle pec, the cable is still at a slight low to high angle. Instead of driving to the midline of the clavicles, you're now going to focus on driving that upper arm to the midline of the pecs. For the lower chest, we're using a high to low cable angle now. Again, line the cables up with your forearms, and this time you're going to be driving towards the lower portion of your pecs. An easy way to set these up would be seeing where your forearms are in the most contracted position and then matching the cable angle to that.
A cable fly mistake is raising your shoulders, shifting tension away from the chest and towards the traps. Instead, keep your shoulders depressed during the entire movement to keep the tension on the chest.
Here is how I set up and perform the flat dumbbell bench press in under 60 seconds. I start by deadlifting the dumbbells off of the ground and place them on my upper thighs. Here, I pull my shoulders down to engage my lats and stabilize my shoulders. Then, I lean back into the bench, allowing the dumbbells to land on my torso before setting them in the bottom position. I press and screw my feet into the floor, pushing my upper back into the bench for stabilization. My upper arms are flared roughly 45 to 60 degrees from my torso to line up my pecs with the load, and my wrists are stacked over my elbows. I also like to keep my wrists neutral, lining the dumbbells up with my upper arms. Then, I take a deep breath to brace my core and drive my upper back into the bench as I press the dumbbells up and in, squeezing my biceps together at the top. On the eccentric, I slowly control the weight back down, rowing the dumbbells towards my chest with a tempo of around 2 to 4 seconds. If you have anything to add, let me know in the comments. Follow for more tips and let me know if that helps.
The dumbbell bench press is arguably the best exercise for building your chest. But to better target the chest and avoid shoulder injury, you want to avoid making this mistake. Many people use a very wide arm path and press the weight up and down. This can not only increase the risk of shoulder discomfort and potential injury, but it also just doesn't stimulate the chest very well. Instead, to maximize chest activation, you want your arm path to line up in the same direction that most of the chest fibers run. To do this, tuck your elbows to about a 45 to 60 degree angle away from your body and allow your grip to turn in slightly with your elbows. Just keep in mind that when you apply this form, the dumbbells will no longer move straight up and down, but rather forwards on the way down towards your mid-chest and backwards on the way up towards your shoulders. Don't be afraid to lighten the weight as well to ensure that you're using the correct form. Try this out in your next workout and you'll feel the difference right away. And give me a follow for more tips just like this.
A common mistake I'll see with the pec deck fly is that you'll go back with your arms straight to stretch and then squeeze with your arms bent. That's incorrect. You want to do it opposite. So back with your arms bent and squeeze with your arms straight.
Here's one of the most common mistakes people make when doing chest flies. This mistake applies to dumbbell flies, cable flies, and machine flies like the pec deck. At the bottom position, the straighter your arm is, the more tension will be applied to your chest. However, the straighter your arms go, the more your biceps also get involved. Eventually, there comes a point where your biceps are starting to work harder than your chest is and will be the limiting factor in the movement. To avoid this, at the bottom position, you want to keep just a slight bend in your elbows such that your hands are just outside of your elbows. Once you get to the top position though, the opposite is true. Since the main function of the chest is horizontal adduction, the act of bringing your arms together, you don't want to keep your arms bent at the top as this will limit your ability to bring your arms together fully. Instead, straighten your arms and think about squeezing your elbows together as you approach the end position. Try this out the next time you do chest flies and you'll feel the difference right away. Give me a follow for more tips just like this.
Wenn du Probleme hast, eine pralle Brust aufzubauen, dann musst du unbedingt Seated Cable Press austesten. Denn hierbei hast du gleich mehrere Vorteile. Du hast ein sehr stabiles Setup und kannst dich am Kabelzug progressiv in kleinen Schritten steigern. Bei Seated Cable Press führst du gleichzeitig eine drückende und fliegende Bewegung aus. Das macht die Übung so unglaublich effektiv für die Brust. Für das perfekte Setup stelle den Kabelzug ungefähr auf Hüfthöhe ein. Als Pro-Tipp kannst du vor den Kabelzug eine Langhantel legen, um daran die Schrägbank anzuschlagen. Die Schrägbank stellst du dann auf die steilste Stufe ein, nimmst beide Griffe in die Hand und setz dich hin. Strecke nun die Brust raus und drücke deine Hände nach vorne und zusammen. Nimm bei jeder Wiederholung die maximale Dehnung mit und für mehr Gains folge mir.
This is the most common mistake I see on the incline dumbbell chest press. Most common mistake is letting the dumbbells fall on the way down. What I mean by that is a lot of the times people will come down here, let that elbow drift back, and the dumbbell falls forward like that. This puts way too much strain on the shoulder, doesn't allow your chest to activate how it's supposed to. So remember, when you come down, you want to make sure those dumbbells don't fall forward. Think elbow under the dumbbell and drive through. Let's go.
Are you having trouble setting up the incline dumbbell bench press? As a certified personal trainer, here is what I think about during my setup. I start by setting the bench angle to around 15 to 30 degrees. Next, I deadlift the dumbbells off of the ground and place them on my knees. Then, I squeeze my shoulder blades together and pull them down to build up tension in my back. After that, I use my knees to kick the dumbbells up and lie back onto the bench. Here, I slide my feet as far back as I can while still keeping my feet flat on the floor. Then, I spread and screw my feet into the floor to build up lower body tension. In this position, I have 5 points of contact. My head, my upper back, my butt, and both of my feet. Next, I take a deep breath to brace my core and drive my feet into the floor as I press the weight up and back. During the press, I keep my elbows tucked around 45 to 60 degrees from my torso. And I usually don't lock out my elbows for this exercise to maintain tension on my chest. If you have anything to add, let me know in the comments. Follow for more tips.
Low to high cable fly. The number one tip I can give you with this exercise is to keep your shoulders back. You see here how I'm leading with my chest. I want to make sure my chest is in front the entire movement. This will target your upper chest.
Build your upper chest with low to high cable chest flies. You want to avoid raising your arms straight up like in a front raise. Instead, place the cable at around knee height and focus on raising your arms diagonally up. Now the resistance runs better in line with the upper chest muscle fibers.
If you want to build a bigger, well-proportioned chest, you need to learn how to target the upper, middle, and lower part of the chest. Let me teach you how to do this using cables. To target the middle chest, do flies with your arms 90 degrees from your body, standing upright, leaning forward, or flat on a bench. To target the upper chest, do flies with your arms greater than 90 degrees from your body, standing upright or on an inclined bench. To target the lower chest, do flies less than 90 degrees from your body with the cables set high.